ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ohio Dirt Track Podcast. We are here with episode 16. My name is Clint.
And I'm Jacob.
And we have a twofer this week. We have two interviews, two drivers, two different types of cars, both from Wooster, Ohio, local-born drivers, one out on a national tour and one running the local tracks. Jacob, you got to talk with Sheldon Haudenschild a little bit on the road on Sunday.
Right. So after Sheldon just completely beat everyone's ass Saturday night at Pevely, they were turning 11-second lap times, and he won by like over 10 seconds. He lapped up to fifth place. We talked to Sheldon about it in his upcoming week at the Knoxville Nationals. It sounds like he's going to have a pretty good week. And I definitely think his team is starting to hit their stride with a great finish at Kings Royal, and they backed it up with the big Ironman win.
It was definitely a showcase race for him so far this year, and you were able to get in touch with him while he and Zan were tracking out from Pevely to Knoxville. That was one of the most exciting moments I've seen all year on the World Outlaws Tour. I was literally standing in my chair, screaming, "Lap them all, lap them all." That was an exciting race, and we have a chance to talk with Sheldon. Right after that, we're going to roll right into an interview with our local late model driver, Doug Drown, who is set up who's running two different point series between Attica, Wayne County, and set up for the Dirt Million coming up at Mansfield Motor Speedway. As always, we're coming to you from the home of the Ohio Dirt Track Podcast in the St. Pete District Studios, downtown Mansfield. St. Pete District Studios is a full-service recording studio that can meet any of your recording needs. Rob will get you in and get you taken care of. Rock and roll, gospel, jazz, opera, heavy metal, you name it, they'll record it. Even commercial or podcast needs. Rob has clearly made major improvements to the sound of the Ohio Dirt Track Podcast, and we want to share that with you as well. So for booking, email Rob at robinrecorder@gmail.com or find them on Facebook at St. Pete District Studios. Without wasting any more time, I want to dive right into the conversation that Jacob was able to have with Sheldon on the road out to Knoxville. Have a listen.
All right, folks. I'm here with Sheldon Haudenschild on the phone. He is trucking to Knoxville currently. We got him on the phone after his utterly dominating Ironman 55 win last night. So Sheldon, you started on pole, and then Donnie Schatz and Tim Schaefer got by you kind of early, but you got back by them 10 laps in. So can you kind of describe your race there?
Yeah, just had a good dash, started on the pole to feature, and after the track work, I don't think anybody really knew what to expect, so it was just kind of wait and see how it played out, and Chase and Donnie both got by me, and just kind of followed them around there until we got to lap traffic, and once we did get to it, I just kind of had my mind made up that get around them and get through lap traffic best as I could.
It's well known that you won by over 10 seconds on a track where the lap seconds were in the 11-second range, and you lapped up to like fifth place. So was it worrying not being able or not knowing exactly where second place was?
No. I wasn't really worried about it. I figured my pace was pretty good, and I felt like I was getting through lappers good, and just kind of was focusing on hitting my marks and making smooth laps, and I feel like I did that pretty well. So, and once I got to, lapping cars like the 49 and the 41, and I didn't really think about it. I just maybe thought them guys were having not a great night, but once I got to Schaefer, then I was kind of wondering what was up after that, because I knew I was just racing him for the lead a little bit before that. So,
how tough was it leading those 45 laps and working through heavy lap traffic almost each one of those laps without really making any of those big mistakes?
It wasn't really that hard. When you're that comfortable and feeling good, everything was just playing out just right, and we were rolling.
You and your team seem to be hitting your stride. You had a really good run at the Kings Royal, and then obviously you got the big win last night. So what's been your key there?
We've just been working on our car and trying to get it a little bit better, and just getting me comfortable in it. Yeah, I think that's just been the biggest thing, and it's happening at a good time. So just been working on that.
How much confidence does this give you going into the biggest week of the year?
Definitely a lot. This is the week to be doing it and feeling good. So, it helps everybody. My confidence, the team, everybody. So, yeah, definitely the right week to be doing it.
Was it cool being able to be so dominant in front of your dad as well?
I don't really think about it. It was cool that he was there and stuff like that. But, when we're on the track, it's just another guy. But, to see him all pumped up after the feature is pretty cool.
So the Haudenschild family and the Jacobs family, they've been friends forever. So how cool is it knowing that you and your dad raced together last night at the same place, and on the same night 4 members of the Jacobs family raced at Wayne County Speedway with both a Haudenschild and a Jacobs picking up a win?
Yeah, definitely pretty cool. It's pretty wild to look back at it and just see how long they've been friends and more like family. So to see everybody racing all around the country and racing together is pretty special.
How are you feeling going into the Knoxville Nationals? Do you have any certain expectations or?
Not really. Just go as fast as we can and get through our qualifying night and make good laps there too.
Sheldon, that's about all I had for you. So we appreciate you coming on to the Ohio Dirt Track Podcast. And good luck at the Knoxville Nationals.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.
So once again, we thank Sheldon for taking a few minutes out of his day to talk to us about his dominating win out at Pevely. Now we're going to go to probably one of the most dominant late model drivers in our area, Doug Drown. He's been racing a lot at Attica and Wayne County this year. He's the Attica points leader, and he's just been utterly dominant no matter what he's racing between the late model, modified, street stock. He's won a lot of races this year. So have a listen to Doug Drown.
All right, we're on the phone here with local Ohio late model driver Doug Drown, who's had quite a few successful weekends here coming out of Attica and Wayne County. Doug, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad you guys had me on.
So you've got some you're steamrolling here for the last few weeks. You coming off a third place just a few weeks ago in Attica, and then back-to-back wins in Wayne County over the last couple weekends, if I am correct.
Yeah, we got we're a little off there at Attica the last time we raced there, but then we worked on some things and got, we were pretty good for Saturday night there at Wayne County and was able to get the win, and then for that ultimate race. And then this weekend we had a gimme. We went way wrong on tire. We kind of overthought it and shouldn't do that as much as we raced there and stuff, but we kind of wanted to try the harder tire, so we did, and it really killed us. And Gentry was able to just pull away, but then he had a mechanical issue and kind of give us the win, I'd say. Can't be too excited about winning one when you kind of were given it, but we were definitely a second place car that night. But I guess you have to be in position to win too, so we were good enough to be there, to put us in position to win.
So would you say that Wayne County is your home track?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we kind of went where I thought Attica was my home track, so even though it's an hour and a half away, but Wayne County is only 15 minutes from our shop, and Jason and Kristen do a phenomenal job out there, and they definitely work hard. I know every place says, "Oh, nobody works harder than me," and all that, but when it comes to Wayne County, I mean, a lot of places have people in place that don't have full-time jobs, or they have part-time jobs, and then they are able to do the racetrack stuff, where Jason and Kristen both have full-time jobs. Everybody that works on that staff does. So it really is just people that love racing, kind of giving back and doing what they can to give us a place to race. And I'm sure they're not getting rich doing it. So definitely like to support them as much as we can. And a lot of people don't understand why we do that, but why we race there a lot and stuff. And when it is only 15 minutes, hard not to, and when you can finish in the top so many, it's kind of crazy not to go there. So, and you can race all over the place.
We had the chance to talk with Jason earlier this year when they threw that all-star sprint race in, and it's obvious how passionate he is about it. I actually had the chance to ride in a push truck with him last year, and it's clear how much he cares about that racetrack. And hearing from the drivers we've talked to, and you as well, it's recognized and from the fans too. So it's a good place to see a race, whether it's a late model, sprint car, or whatever it is you're going to see.
That's it. He does go all the way around with it, and that's why people ask why I'm racing the street stock even. And those things aren't easy to drive. I feel like the late models are way easier to wheel around there. So you got to it gives me a perspective of racing, because I started in late models. So when dropping down, it gives you, appreciation to those guys. Yeah, they might not get the most attention for being the top class or the fastest, but just because they're not fast or as fast as sprints and late models doesn't mean they're not difficult to navigate around the racetrack. So that's why I don't feel like I have any advantage racing over the guys that do it all the time. But it is great racing, I think, for all classes there. And if fans stick around, no matter what class they're watching, they probably are going to see some good side-by-side racing.
I was looking on your site, and I saw that you've made 32 starts and you have 16 wins. So you've literally won half of your races this year. What's your key to being so dominant?
Just having good people around me. I have Cody Duncan. He's, went on the road with Mark. He started with us. He's lived with me for a long time. Charlie Duncan at Race, it's his son. But just having the right people around you. I've got a good group. Him doing the car all week long while I focus on our business and driving truck myself. And then I can still be there for my family instead of working at the extra hours in the evening on the car, which I do go 1 or 2 days a week. That's about it. And Cody does the rest. And then Steve, who works for me as well for my truck company, he does my tires, and my father does a lot as well. And we kind of just, like I said, if you keep good people around you, good things happen. And with the Doherty's family, with the street stock, literally I just get in and drive. And he asks me, what do I feel? I tell him, and Bobby, the boy, makes adjustments, and he does a phenomenal job maintenance the car. So I really believe it's just preparation meeting opportunity, and we're preparing our late model, and as they're doing the street stock, and that's basically the success. And for me, I can just focus on driving, and the more you race, the better. I think it's more consistent, and we're just kind of making the right calls right now, and which is great. And we have a phenomenal race car with the late model. The Black Diamond chassis really fits me well. We tried the Longhorn last year, and it might have just been a bad car. I don't know, but it did not have the feel I was hoping for. And then we got this Black Diamond right out of the gate. I could tell it was going to be a good one.
Doug, you had starts in a late model, the street stock, and the modified. So is there anything that you won't drive?
No, I pretty much, somebody asked me last week, I think it was Dean, might have been Dean Jacobs, or one of the Jacobs guys asked me if I was ever going to get into sprint car or whatever. And I said, I don't have a problem trying it out, but I want to make sure it's one that's proven, because it's easy, you don't want to struggle or make a butt of yourself, driving something else for the first time. But my thought is if I know it can get around the racetrack and it shows it's competitive, then basically if I'm not getting around there the same way, then it's me needing to